Hey, you guys, I'm going out of town. I'm leaving the snakes for like a week, but I'm kind of in a hurry. So can we roll the theme song? Welcome to the Green Room. I'm Bob Bledsoe. Today we're going to talk about how I leave my snakes for a week at a time. I'm actually going to be gone for almost the entire month of August, but I'm flying back for like a day each week. I'm driving up and then flying back and forth. And it would be great if Kent could watch the snakes. No, thank you. I'm not going to be alone in a house with snakes. Kent, they're not ghosts. That's two things that I won't be alone in a house with. Snakes and ghosts. And werewolves. I do actually have to leave, so I'm going to do this video from the road, and I'm going to be using my phone because Kent's not filming, and I broke my camera again. Super frustrating. So there's going to be some road noise from the road. There will be some probably a shaky camera because I'm driving along, but you're not watching this for the cinematography, so, you know, let's go. Kent's got the week off. Awesome. That is so rad. Hey, you guys. I'm on the road in beautiful Washington State. I'm on my second day driving, and I just remembered that I'm supposed to record this because I didn't do it when I was at home. So when I left my snakes yesterday morning, I changed all their waters, spot cleaned everybody, pulled a couple of sheds out, and made sure that they were all good as far as humidity and everything. I'm going to be gone for a week. And when I am gone for a week, I have a person come in and change waters midweek. Is that overkill? Maybe a little bit. You could probably leave ball pythons for a week and they'd be fine. But I like my snakes to have fresh water. So I have somebody come in and help out. So that's not what I wanted to talk to you about, though. I want to talk to you about how I regulate my room, because I'm not set up on... My house isn't wired for Google Home. It's an old house and it's just switches and such. So normally when I'm there, I can turn my AC on and off, whatever. If it gets too humid, which it does sometimes in my place, I have a bathroom fan that I can turn on, and that just pulls the humidity out of that room. So being gone, I'm not there to do all the switching, so I use Switchbot. This is not a ad for them. I'm not paid. I'm just telling you what I use. Switchbot is a really cool company that basically, I think the first thing they came out with was this little little tiny box with just a mechanical finger. It's just a little robot that switches a switch on or off, or a rocker switch. So in my bathroom, I've got that set on the rocker switch that handles the fan, and if it gets too humid in my place, that rocker switch clicks on, and it's got a thing where it clicks the other way and it pulls the rocker switch out, so you only need one for on and off, and it works perfect because I bought a Switchbot thermometer hygrometer for the room, and I'm using ifthisthenthat.com, ifttt.com. That's a free website that you can basically program anything that you own. If this happens, then handle this. If that happens, then handle this. So basically, I have it where if the humidity is over a certain amount, that fan gets switched on. If it comes down under, I think, 48% or something like that, then it switches off. So while I'm gone, that fan is switching on and off as it needs to. I've also got a Switchbot mini hub that you can program pretty much just any remote control to. It probably does other stuff too, but I only use it for my AC, just one thing. So I programmed this thing. This is just a little white box that's set up in the room, and it's got the remote control to my air conditioning programmed. And through if this then that, if the heat gets up to, I think, 78 degrees maybe, it switches on, and then when it gets down to whatever I set it for, it switches off. And it gives me a report also, so I can look at my phone and make sure it's working. It tells me that things are on or off or whatever. What else do I have in there? Oh, I bought a humidifier because it does get dry sometimes. And I set up the humidifier and it works great, but this isn't a problem with the humidifier. It's a problem with the water, I think, in my place. It leaves a white film on everything. So I disconnected it. But that's an option too. There's a Switchbot humidifier that you can program, and like I said, it works well. It might leave a white foam, which any humidifier would. What else do I have? I'm talking off the top of my head here, you guys. I usually have a clipboard with like a script. I mean, not a script, but talking points. I don't even have talking points in front of me right now. Let's see. So I've got the fan, the AC, humidifier. Hey you guys, Future Bob here, just trying to edit this video and clean up another shoddy video that Past Bob put together. The thing I neglected to mention is my video camera that I have either pointing at Echo's enclosure or the inspector's enclosure. Those are the two glass fronted enclosures that I have. The rest are tubs and racks and things. But it's kind of just for fun to watch the snakes wander around at night, but also if they're exhibiting any kind of weird behavior, that could tell me that maybe the electronic system that I have set up isn't accurate, and maybe it's way too hot in the room or something like that, and I can have my neighbor come in and check it out. But I use the Real-Link system, which there's a bunch of them that you can find. Real-Link is just the one that I found online, and it works really well. I set it up in front of, most recently I set it up in front of Echo's enclosure because I want to make sure that she's okay. I know the inspector's okay, and I rarely see him anyway because he sits inside. But it's fun to watch your snakes. So not absolutely necessary, but just another layer of protection when you're gone, and something fun to do if you want to check in on your animals. The LED light for Echo to give her a day and night cycle, and the grow lights for the plants in the bioactive vivarium are both on timer anyway, so those just keep running the way they normally do. They come on in the morning and off in the evening. And other than that, people worry a lot about leaving their snakes, and man, I think that my snakes are probably thankful that they get a week off of seeing my face in their tub or up against their enclosure every single day, pulling them out and working with them and such. That's not something they particularly enjoy, so I think they're happy with a week off of that. And you just need to make sure that your temps are good. I turned down my my rack 1 degree because it seemed a little warm right before I left, and I'd rather it be a little bit cooler than a little bit warmer. I check over all my snakes, make sure that their enclosures are super clean. Except Damara. Damara is, I think, in her prelay shed right now, and I pulled a urate out of her tub last week, and she doesn't pee very often because she's not eating, she's off food. And later that day there was another one in there, and I was about to pull that one out, and then I realized, oh, she's nesting and she probably wants it in there. So there's some people that leave the tubs really dirty during breeding season, and some people that keep it pristine clean. I've kind of taken the middle road on that, where I think that when they're nesting, I think they do want that scent around. So I'll pull any poop out, but those urates, it seemed like she wanted some urates there, so I've left them there. And it bugs me because I like to have pristine tubs, but I think when they're breeding, you can't. That's not the way to do it. So Damara's tub has some urates in it. Other than that, everybody's totally clean, and Lucy is going to come in and change waters. Lucy is a 13-year-old ukulele student of mine. Her mom brings her over, She's obsessed with the snakes, and she knows every one of them, and she loves the snakes. We schedule her lesson each week where she comes over and has a lesson, and then she spends about an extra hour playing with snakes, which is totally fine. It works great because I want her to know my snakes. I want her to know all the care because, you know, there might be a time where I need her to do more than just change their waters and spot clean. It's nice to have somebody that can do that for you. So, and then, you know, if I have like an emergency, I've got a neighbor who's one of my closest friends that can come over and handle something on an emergency basis. She's not into snakes, so I don't want to ask her to care for my snakes when I'm gone. That's not fair to do, by the way. You want somebody coming in caring for your snakes that are into snakes, and you know, most people aren't, and that's okay. But if you can find somebody that's into the snakes and just thinks they're really cool, that's who you want coming in and changing your water and such like that. So anyway, I think that's it. I think I said it all. Hey, you guys, real quick. If you are gone for 2 weeks, let's say, and you've got somebody checking on your snakes and you're worried about them not being fed for 2 weeks, and you normally feed them once a week, it's totally okay to have them fast for a couple weeks. It's actually good for them. They don't ever eat a meal once a week in the wild, and their digestive system needs to break anyway. So use that as a good time for them to fast for a couple weeks. That's no problem at all. 3 weeks is fine for a fast, so don't worry about that. Hey, you guys, real quick, Future Bob here again. On feeding your snakes before you leave, do it 2 or 3 days before you leave. Don't do it like the day of, because if there's going to be any problems with the digestion process, it's going to happen probably in the first 48 hours. Meaning if the snake's about to regurgitate for some reason, they're going to do it in the first 48, and you want to be there for that. You don't want to just feed them and leave. So do it a couple days before, and your snake should be just fine. I think this is probably the end of the video, so I'm going to just say it. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Also, if my kilt catches fire, just run up and put it out. Don't lift it up. That's not funny. All right? Okay. Here we go. I feel like I'm doing very well today.